everyone, this is assignment 5 and this one contains several questions. First with the exercise 5.6 and this question is calculates the simulates the by hand the velocity expression, and for this one and first things imports is several parameters from the number Python number of Python and set the array for the x and the timing t, and this one will zero that list and defines the y and to returning the cost was the expression and looping the range and outputting that and summing around that. Okay, this is two but operations cost. And this next question is 5, 7, 8, and this one is slicing, and it determines the array slicing, and this one is import to the library and sets the range and just to the whole things and up to nothing to the second last, and every fifth element and with 0 and running that slice. And this slices all the arrays into this one, the 4 different arrays. And the next one is the replace list operation by the arrays occupation. This is calculate the sum and to determine. This is the arrays from the textbook and the copy paste and determine the arrays and different. And continue that and defines the month and define the date and looping that and this is size and the value for that and operates the best weather days and determine that and the code. This is the mean 0 and the date and the value and the calculate out and to running that. This is actually the cost, the mean value and the decades and the break up and the sum of the some hours of the average. And the next one is 5.9 and this question is a plot form and the import numerical and the import statistics tools and the standards with the import plot tools and defines the initial velocity and the gravity and the challenge list and calculate that and define the range and the plot formula. Since this one is received as a Python, so I haven't running that. And the next one is the import. It's also the plot. This plot the formula is several parameters and the imports math plot and the Python plot and the system variables defines the variables and they have the two variables timing and height and print out and show the plot function and plot things and giving out is will be plot out for looping all the variables and defines the velocity. And the 11th is the last two questions and this question is specifies extensions accessing the path and this one is also the same as the question before and imports the matplotlib library and the numerical Python and the Python plots and defines the g values, gravity value, and using the plot function subplot defines the titles, defines the function of the plot quantity, and this one is a defines value and defines the x and y and defines things and plot that and sets down the name and the values and show the plot. This also needs like Python, so keeping it well. And the last question is to write the formula codes from data and this one imports the statistics tools from the import and the internal length, asking giving the values in order and the command line and in here this defines the string in and calls this so the string function has a mass stuffed impact and the floating and this is the thing we call the string function that's master impact function and retype and expect errors if they have any issues with the function not correctly, and zeroing the errors and defines in one line, and this one taking the 4 data types along with the Python, and you need to plot and defines length space a, b, and n, and going to the function f, and the function f is defined for, and the continuous part, and this one plus section is open, not output, it's output the text and writes all the data and writing the data. So this is all the assignments we have today.